Well, at the moment, the television industry isn't really thinking very much about piracy, thinking about copyright. It's fascinating. The television industry is increasingly thinking about this. For example, in the US, NBC has a head of piracy, for example. That's quite unusual. Most people in television feel in some ways as if they're impervious. They're thinking, oh, the issues that affected the music industry, the issues that affected the film industry, they're not necessarily relevant to us because we have a different business model. I would argue that's not the case. I would actually say that, television is potentially in as difficult a situation as those industries were when they themselves had their heads in the sand like ostriches. At the moment, there aren't very many models that are dealing with this issue, and I think more than anything else, it's the small distributors and it's the small developers or the content creators, the production companies that are having greater trouble. Because it's the small production companies who, for example, have one film that they create every year and they rely upon foreign sales to support them. And if somebody steals their stuff, if somebody pirates it, if somebody downloads it clear across the world, then that makes that content less valuable when the distributor seeks to sell it to that territory. In terms of the distribution angle, that sort of middle section, they are now thinking about different windows for releasing content, whether it's on DVD or whether it's in different, whether it's play again types of scenarios. So in the UK we have the BBC iPlayer, we have 4OD. In the US, increasingly people are downloading content via Hulu. So we're starting to see the kind of the shift of the window of consumption, and so distributors are starting to think about how they change their release window strategy to make sure that everybody around the world gets the content at the same time. I've spoken with content creators, often comedy writers, for example, and they, or even drama writers, and they're simply very keen to get their content out to as many eyeballs as possible. And there have been instances, there have been cases in which the audience who has downloaded the content then demands or creates a demand such that the television company in that territory purchases the content in the end.